Hello guys, welcome to this video, and today we'll be talking about the effects of bearish sentiment on my dividend investing portfolio. So before we proceed to the topic, let's first have a recap from the previous video. First, the purpose of my portfolio is to grow passive income that will supplement my active income. And the second one is to have an option for early retirement. So you may ask, what's unique with this portfolio of mine? So first, it doesn't have any reinvesting feature, which means that the dividends that it will pay for me every time will be reinvested on a manual basis according to my own liking. Now the second one is that it can buy shares at a fraction, which means that if the stock has a minimum board lot of 10, I can only buy and sell by 10. Now the third one is that it will only have 15 to 20 stocks, because I have read in a research that in order for your portfolio to perform better than the index, you will only have at least 20 stocks to it. The fourth one is to improve dividend yield by averaging down. And now the fifth one is, as much as possible, this portfolio shall pay me dividends 3 times per month. And so, how I choose my stocks? Every stock that I own should pay me dividends. That's a requirement. Now, the second one is that every stock should have a dividend payout schedule that is constant, which means that the same date that the stock paid this year will be the same date that it will also pay the next year. And this is also tied with this previous item, which is to develop payment schedule 3 times per month. Now, the fourth one is to have an annual debt to asset ratio less than that or equal or to 30%, which means that the debt of the company should be minimum 30% or less. Now, the last one is that the annual profit margin of the company should be greater than the annual debt to asset ratio. But this is a loose comparison because the annual profit can change according to the market. So this is all regarding the recap from the previous video. And now let's proceed to the main topic. So this is our very own Philippine Stock Exchange Index. And as you can see, starting this 2019 up to the end of that year, the market is under consolidation with the support of about 7,500 and the resistance of 8,400. And as we all know, it was in this year that the trade tensions between China and US are brewing. And starting from 2020 up to this day, we also heard about the Wuhan China coronavirus. And together, these two bad news hitting the market, our index went from consolidation stage up to a downtrend. So, what can I hope about this market is that in this support, there will be a bounce, hopefully. A bounce would occur so that our stocks can recover. So this is my portfolio, or at least a screenshot of it. And as you can see, I have already told you that I have 2 preferred stocks, this one, and 3 regular stocks, which are this, and this one, and another one. But why do I emphasize these kinds of stocks? One, because as I observe, this preferred stock is quite stable even in the market downturn. Why? Because I have always observed that these stocks always loses this amount of percentage, and this as well. It always like that. It doesn't go down with the market. If it goes down to a minimum of at least few percentage points. But it doesn't go down like this Philippine Savings Bank stock, you know. So let's have a record. How much dividend yield does each stock consist, or does each stock give me, in that matter? So let's start with this Double Dragon preferred stock. This Double Dragon stock gives me 6.21% yield, and another one, the Phoenix Petroleum, gives me about 7.35%, which is quite big. But here, on the other hand, this GMA stock, I have 8.30% yield, and this Philippine Savings Bank has 5.02% yield. And lastly, this one, the SPC Power, gives me about 8.03%, which is all amazing yields, because each one of them is more than 5%, which is way below inflation and below the bonds rate, which is great. But one thing I noticed for this preferred stocks, this preferred stock of Double Dragon doesn't go down with the market, as well as this Phoenix Petroleum. It doesn't go down with the market like this three do, or go up against the market. This one does go down more, and this one as well, because all of these three stocks, the rest is a regular stock which goes up and down with the market, or up and down against the market. But these preferred shares, they are almost constant. They're like bonds because they give you protection against the market. In the downwards, it doesn't affect much. In the upwards, they don't affect much as well. They just have their own kind of road, and which is amazing to me, because I have bonds characteristics for this portfolio, but it also has stock characteristic in that it pays dividends on a quarterly basis for the both of them, which is great. So I guess if bonds are very safe, and stocks are very volatile but has great returns, this preferred share is in between, because it has a slight characteristic like bonds, but it does have also the characteristic of stocks, because it pays dividends like the stocks does, and it's also a stock. So that's why I like this. And in the future, sooner, I will add another position different from these two, which is also a preferred stock. Now, as for these three, they go up and down with the market, which is a great advantage to me, because I can easily add up to that position like what I did for this Philippine Savings Bank. In this, as you can see, this Philippine Savings Bank is going down with the market in a big way. That's 10% the loss for me. But the good thing is that I have added to my position of 10 stocks, and now from 5% yield, 5.02 that is, I have increased the yield to 5.12%, which is a small comparison with the other stocks still, but still it has an advantage of slowly adding up to my position, as well as increasing the dividend yield on a downward. And that's what I like. I like to buy stocks on a downward because it gives me this great yields. So that's what I have planned for this stock. So what's the future plan for this stock? First is I'll be adding a preferred stock in the future, like I said. Then I will sell some of this GMA network stock position. Maybe I will just leave 100 in here for dividends and sell the rest, and then buy more of the SPC, because as you can see, this SPC Power Corporation is going up or appreciating in value. Why? Because I know this stock doesn't have any debt, or zero debt, that is, which makes it even more lighter in my opinion. So that is all for me, guys. Thank you for watching, and in the future I will improve more on these videos of mine. Thanks.